All right. The Wada Yahweh, the Wada Yahweh Shah, the Wada Yahweh, the Wada Yahweh Shah. All right, I want to say Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakak Wadash. I want to say double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone for teaching his word and truth and sincerity, for ruling well. And salutations to my fellow Akim across the four corners of the globe, preaching and prophesying in the name of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. It is the brother Gabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii coming to you with another video. And this video is on the MOTB, and we're steps closer to the MOTB, and this video was inspired by a video that I was watching earlier, live show with Elder Ariala and Elder Rakalia Kwam from the GMS Dallas London World War III Algo Energy Famine and Inflation. Okay, and they got a clip of this man speaking, and he goes in. He basically say that all of this stuff that's happening right now is basically going to culminate into that MOTB. All right. And earlier this week, okay, well, literally yesterday, this article came out March 7th, which is Monday, 2022. And it says Biden to sign crypto order as firm faces sanctions and pressure, right? Because you got these different so-called cryptocurrencies floating all out around, and they're doing their own thing. And what America wants to do, what the government wants to do, is to streamline all of these different currencies and basically make the digital dollar the leading currency, because all of these different um, all of these different nations are coming up with their own particular cryptocurrency or digital currency. All right, there's something called the CBDC, which is CBDC, which is crypto-based digital currency. Okay, and that something like that, roughly paraphrasing. Yep. Crypto Salakia. I just want to make sure I get this right for you, brothers. It says right here. It says U.S. issued central bank Salakia. I said crypto. I just made that up. Salakia. Central bank digital currency, or CBDC. All right, and that's where they're moving to, which ultimately going to culminate in that RFID MOTB. All right, that's what that's going to culminate in. And when you listen to this excerpt that I'm gonna play from this algorithm, you're gonna see that it all makes sense. It all coming down to that. It's coming down to the wire of the CBDC that's gonna be issued for all people here in America, and then they're gonna have each country gonna have their own CBDC, but it's all gonna be streamlined to the elites. All right, they're gonna run. They're gonna be logged and categorized through each one's different what do you call it, a blockchain, or the blockchain that's going to house all of that. This is the reason why you've seen a lot of different jobs are being replaced or just totally deleted. Okay, this is the reason why they used that whole thing the last 2 years ago. They used that whole thing to basically test out what they could do and what they couldn't do. All right, and how the people were going to react. And now you have this war in Ukraine happening. What's the biggest threat is a cyber attack. Okay, yeah, their biggest threat is they're talking about is looming as a cyber attack, which a cyber attack can possibly erase or everybody's bank accounts, man. All right, and what are they going to do? They're going to conveniently have something ready on standby, which is going to be that MOTB to give you. And so Esau does a lot of trickery and skullduggery through his policies, man. Okay, through them policies that Esau has, he caused a lot of mischief to happen. And one of the biggest policies that's happening right now, Biden's going to speak on it. Hold on, policies. Um, uh, yep. One of the biggest policies or things that Esau's going to have is this so-called this orders Biden to sign crypto order. So you don't really know what that whole crypto order is going to entail, but I guarantee you it's going to have the MOTB written somewhere in it. Okay, and so I just kind of want to make this I'm not going to make this too long. Salakia for talking too much, but this is Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. It says, "And through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper, and that craft, that evil wickedness in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many." Yep. And that's what they're talking about. Oh, we're going to bring peace. Oh, we're going to make things happen. These different policies. But really, he bringing war and destruction to you, man. He shall also stand up against the prince and of princes, but he shall be broken without hands. Now, when you go into that term for policy, the Greek word there, the Hebrew word, Salaki, the Hebrew word there for policy is shakal, and it says prudent, insight, understanding, cunning, craft, in a bad sense. All right. And that's what this whole MOTB is craft in a bad sense, because if you take it, you're going to be destroyed. Now, they know that the vast majority of people are disenchanted with the so-called government. They know that the vast majority of the people here in this country are disenchanted with their leadership. So they're going to make you take it. That's why the scripture says this in Revelation 13 and 16. "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads," says, "and that no man might buy or sell, except save he had the mark, say he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name." All right. And how's he going to cause you to take this? He's going to deceive a lot of people. Okay. Through his deception, he's going to cause a lot of people to take this MOTB. And going back into the people's, basically their thoughts about their confidence in the so-called government. Esau gonna make things so bad out here that people gonna take it, and that's what you're gonna hear in this clip. Things gonna be so bad out here that people are gonna be deceived and taking the MOTB. But before that happens, they got to put it in law. They got to put it in order. That's what these executive orders are all about. It says government-wide plan, Biden to sign crypto order as firms face sanctions pressure. Government-wide plan poised to be announced this week. National security regulations to be focused on of executive order. So I just want to skip down. I'm going to read the first sentence and I'm going to skip down. It says President Joe Biden is set to sign an executive order this week that will outline the U.S. government strategy for cryptocurrencies according to people familiar with the administration's plans. The order will direct federal agencies to examine potential regulatory changes as well as the national security and economic impact of digital assets, said the people who asked to be named, not to be named, discussing the deliberation. The White House approach to crypto has attracted fresh attention in recent weeks after the U.S. and its allies levied sanctions on Russia, prompting concerns that organizations and individuals could use crypto to evade the restrictions. So when you scroll down, it says this: the White House directive is also expected to address the possibility of a U.S. issued central bank digital currency. And how you think you're going to get that? You're going to get a debit card? You're going to get a credit card? No. You're going to have to get that RFID. And when you hear this man speak, he gonna go into his speech, and while he's speaking, you can clearly see what's being formulated for the people. And it's this thing been years in the making, and now we come into the crux of this. So it says because they want to do what? They want to issue the possibility of the U.S. issued a let's read it again. The White House directive is also expected to address the possibility of a U.S. issued central bank digital currency. And Apostle Tahar was doing a video where Vocab was being asked about the MOTB, and he didn't give no real answer. He tried to say it was a spiritual thing, but no, this is it right here, man. That little grain of rice is what people's what John saw people getting. But why were people getting it? Because they were hungry, because they needed salaki, because they needed and why were people taking it? Because they were destitute. And things are gonna get that way with this whole energy crisis that's going on right now. It's just gonna snowball and get worse. So it says the White House directive is also expected to address the possibility of a U.S. issued central bank digital currency, or CBDC, though it is likely, though it'll likely hold off on taking a firm position because the Federal Reserve is still studying the issue, which they already made their mind up. The central bank, in a paper release on January, said a U.S. CBDC could help preserve the dollar's dominance as another countries like China, as other countries like China embrace the technology. And that's that whole thing. Because when you go to Revelation 13:16, it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. This is a key aspect of a CBDC, man. Save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And that's all wrapped up in that MOTB. And this guy talked about that briefly at the Supreme Court confirmation hearing of John Roberts back in 2005.
Stop now, Judge, and we'll be faced with equally consequential decisions in the 21st century. Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my words, before your tenure is over.
Yeah, and that's what that's going to be. It's not just going to be that you can buy and sell, but it's going to be set up so that you can buy and sell, and it's also going to be to track your movement. Because what's the people's biggest scare? Because privacy is pretty much out of the window. You got cell phones, you got internet accounts. Your privacy is being sold on a market, open market, every day. Everything that you consider private is being sold. All your information is being stored and kept for whatever reason, right? But people's biggest concern about the chip, is what is whether they can be tracked or not. They don't want you to track their movements. So that's going to be a big thing about this new CBDC that's going to come out. All right. Because how do you get, see, how you going to spend a CBDC? Most people are used to physical currency in their hand. Well, Esau's doing away with that. That's why a lot of countries, including America, are trying to move to a cashless society. All right. People lose cards. People lose identification cards and bank cards and stuff like that. So the only thing that's going to be left is the MOTB. And that's how you're going to be able to buy. That's going to be the key factor in this whole thing, is you got to buy and sell in order to live in this society. All right. You got to buy and sell in order to live in this society. And I just want to look up, and he calls it. So let's go to that real quick. Revelation 13 and 16. It says, and he causeth. So that the word for causeth in the Greek is poieo, and it says to make, with the names of things it says with the names of things made, to produce, construct, or form or fashion. So that he authored, prepare. That's right. To produce, to acquire, to provide a thing for oneself. So they're going to provide what? A brand new currency for you to use. And that's going to be the way of the world. And he gonna cause all. He gonna produce, he gonna construct different situations, gonna make the people run and take it. And people are gonna run and take it because, one, they don't have no faith and they're not part of the elect. Two, and when I say the people, I'm talking about Jake. And two is because they trust in this society. They trust in this government to bail them out. Just like when that whole uh demic thing happened, people were looking to the government to bail them out. And what do? They give you all this free money. Well, listen to this.
clearly that's not aligned. Prices are going sky high. Prices are going sky high on this. So people are going to beg for a solution. They're going to beg for a digital solution, a renewable energy solution, which
Right.
will be magically.
And that's what's happening right now. Like the elder was going into, I didn't play it, but if you just listen to what he was saying, um, soon as that dimming happened, what happened? They had QRF codes on deck. All of these different restaurants somehow magically they all got the QR codes quick, right? They digitally put everything on a menu on this code. You know, you had to check in, you had masks, you had a whole standard of operation behind it already set up as if they knew something was going to happen. And they try to make it sound like they just came in and swooped in. No. It was all set up, man. It was all set up. And like the elder's saying, things are gonna be so bad, prices are gonna be so high that the people are gonna want the government to do something. And when he does, here come that magic show, man. Oh, we already got this right here. You know, you just go down here and get yours, man. Just like they were lining up to get the vaccine, people are gonna be lining up to get the RFID MOTV.
Why are they forwarding an agenda to move away from petroleum? Right? So right now, what you see is this strain on petroleum. Prices are going sky high. Prices are going to go sky high on this. So people are going to beg for a solution. They're going to beg for a digital solution, a renewable energy solution, which will be magically rolled out. And that's why you see people buying lithium and uranium, because these markets are being prepared to be put at the forefront of society. Dominance has always been there. So clearly that's not aligned with the climate message. And enter the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, the Think, I call him the Think, Larry Fink. These are people who are transforming our world in front of us. And so I openly. Yeah. Oh, no, this is the point. This is no conspiracy. They're telling you. So I Googled that phrase, transform the global financial system. Up pops GFANZ, which is the Geneva Financial Advisor Net Zero Organization, headed by Michael Bloomberg, headed by Carney, the former Bank of England director. Fink is in there, the CEO of every single bank, Citi, JP, they're all in there. And there's a pledge. It's Glasgow, isn't it? The Glasgow, not Geneva. Oh, Glasgow, I'm sorry, yes. Okay. Sorry. No, thank you. Yeah. And I look at the pledge that they have in there, and the pledge says, I pledge that every deal I do, everything I do right now, will be to get us to net zero by 2050 or before. And I will not invest in anything that has to do with oil. So now we get to where we are today. So we have a Putin, Russia. We don't need to talk about what actually the history of that is. Kinetic attack, supposedly. It seems a little sketchy, all the stuff that I'm seeing. And we're hitting back with what? Financial weapons. Why? Why are we using financial weapons? I believe this is it, Glenn. I believe this is never let a crisis go to waste. This is the tipping point. We need to price energy so high, because that's the effect. That's the effect. Energy is going to be so high. And some other, because and we can talk about Swift in a minute, when you change something in a system, in a network like that, I know enough from technology that one small change, that can screw up a lot of things. Already, wheat prices are now as high as Arab Spring days. So there's going to be really, really, really hard times. And I think that the idea is to shut down global production because of the cost of energy. No one's going to want to produce. Go back home, sit at home, don't worry. We'll take care of you just like COVID. We're going to send you money. This time, though, not a check. This time, it's your Federal Reserve digital dollar.
There you go. And all that's being set up right in front of you. And a vast majority, and through different things such as them watching the YouTube this kind of information and marking a lot of our videos as some type of policy rupture or break in policy in their policies. They take the truth off of here, but it's right out there in front of you, and it's being set up. This is what John saw. This is what the Lord showed John. And that sounds so like you're gonna be you do just like you did do last 2 years ago during the pandemic. What happened? You sat at home, you waited for that check to come in, you ain't had to pay rent. You know, a lot of people was living off that rent moratorium thing going on. Okay. Talking about how they was affected. And what ended up happening? A lot of people just sat at home waiting on the government to swoop in like Superman. Well, they gonna do the same thing this time, but this time it ain't gonna be no shut off point, man. It's gonna straight up happen, and you're gonna need that thing to move around. The key thing you're gonna need it for is buying and selling. All right, and this is what the one step closer to the MOTB, Revelation 14:9, because there's a judgment if you take this. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, okay, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into a cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Right? You're going to burn. You're going to die. You're going to be destroyed. You're going to be destroyed if you take it. Okay? This is the hour. This hour of temptation is really happening. It's really about to happen. And like the elders were saying, like, look, this ain't gonna be no years in the future, man. The way this thing is moving fast, man. They're moving fast because they're trying to put a capstone on their whole agendas. All right, taking people off the planet, getting them out of here. A lot of them people that took the poison, they're gonna perish, man. But then a lot of them same people that took the poison gonna take this man's MOTP, so they think they surviving. They think they're gonna survive. And now look, they're not even talking about that whole thing, the juice or nothing. It's not in the news like that. They're not putting it all in your face. A lot of these different states are rolling back their mandates now, opening up their borders, because the next big thing that's gonna happen, that's gonna roll in, is gonna be the MOTB. And all of this stuff was written beforehand. This is Second Esdras 9:4. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. And this what vocab alone can't understand. This is what vocab alone can't put the pieces together with. This is prophecy, man. All right, this is prophecy, and all the prophets they spoke this way. Jeremiah 28:8, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And this MOTB, this is a evil, man. This straight up evil. The vast majority of the world, they want you out of here. They don't want you on the planet. And in the rest, they want you as permanent slaves for them, man. All right? And they're gonna use that their mark to do so, man. All right. And this is not a spiritual mark. This is a physical mark. This is something that you're going to have to physically get in order to buy and sell. This is not a embargo. It ain't the white woman. It ain't a picture of Cesare Borgia, the white Christ. Nope. It's that thing, man. It's that MOTB, man. All right. And this is another article. Lord, when if I remember, I'll post these articles in the description box. But it says this is from February 7, 2022. Feds design digital dollar that handles 1.7 million transactions per second, man. Because you got millions of people in America buying, selling, doing the things they usually do. Well, they're coming up with something that could handle those transactions, man. So it says, as the race against China's development of its central bank digital currency, CBDC, known as a digital yuan, which all of this stuff is going to be on one ledger, man. It says, as the race against China's development of its central bank digital currency, CBDC, known as a digital yuan, continues, the U.S. Federal Reserve accomplished a feat in testing a design for a U.S. digital dollar that in one of two tests managed to handle 1.7 million transactions per second. A report released last Thursday provided the initial findings of research conducted as a collaboration between the Boston Fed and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And why do they go to MIT? Because MIT, DARPA, all of that come out of there, and that's their R&D. That's their R&D. Dubbed Project Hamilton, the report described as a theoretical high-performance and resilient transaction processor for CBDC that was developed using open-source research software called OpenCBDC. According to the Fed's report, a core processing engine for the hypothetical general purpose CBDC was created that produced one code base capable of handling 1.7 million transactions per second. According to the Fed, the vast majority of transactions reach settlement finality in under 2 seconds. So why are they doing that? Because millions of people, bro. Millions of people times millions and millions and millions of people times billions of transactions a day. And you just look up how many financial transactions happen in America in one day. Let me see if I can find it. Um, it says if you divided that figure 365, the results show that more than 108.6 million credit card transactions occur in the U.S. every day. So they already got something that's designed to handle 1.7 million, and that's just off of credit cards. So 108.6 million credit card transactions occur in the U.S. every day. So that's what they need. And they're testing it because this is going to be the new way, the only way for according to the elite. But the elect are going to be saved out of that. So I'll end it off with that. Revelation chapter 3. Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And that hour of temptation is going to be that MOTB. That's the hour of temptation. But the Lord said He's going to keep us away from that. Lord willing, we part of the elect because we did what? We kept His patience. We kept His patience of His word, of His faith. He said He's going to take care of us when all of this thing go down. During Jacob's trouble, during a time of great need and famine and want, you know, building up the brotherhood to be more brotherly, to be more serious minded, okay, and brotherly minded in regards to finances and in regards to necessities amongst the body. So the Lord said, what? Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world and try them that dwell upon the earth, right? And the elect are going to be tried, but they're going to overcome. And the rest of the world, Jake is going to be taken down, man. Let me look up that term for world, Revelation 3 and 10. Revelation 3 and 10. That word for world. Well, it says dwell. Yep, the word for world there is igos. I mean logos. So that's the entire world. The whole entire world. Logos, doctrine, logos is a word uttered, living voice, embodies someone, account, speech. I'm not sure what that. But it's gonna try the whole world, man. Oh, that's the word, Salakia. Salakia. Which shall come. Yep, try the whole world. Oikamene, which is the whole world, the inhabited earth. So everybody in the world gonna be tried with this. All right, and that's why all these different nations are running to CBDCs, man. Okay, that's exactly why all these different nations are running towards the CBDC because that's gonna be the new way. But the elect gonna survive this. So I just want to bring this up, man. We steps closer to the end of this thing, to the very, very end of this thing, and just keep the eye out, be a watchman for Yahweh Shem Shai. With that, let's say Shalom and on to the next.